So let's take 208 seconds and make it into a feature-length film. Oh, and let's add Tom Hanks into it. Yep. Sully is the newest film directed by Clint Eastwood and starring Tom Hanks and Aaron Eckhart, and is based on the Miracle on the Hudson emergency landing that happened back in 2009 where both jet engines failed and Captain Sullenberger was forced to make that split decision to land the airplane on the Hudson River, saving all 155 passengers on board. However, this movie is more about the investigation that happened after the plane crash that were sanctioned by all these insurance companies that were essentially blaming Sully for not returning to the airport in time, but instead chose to potentially endanger the lives of all the passengers on board, and of course decided to destroy their fancy expensive plane. Obviously, these insurance companies cared more about the money in the plane than the actual passengers. But that's what this movie tries to do. Most people would label Sully a hero without thinking about all the other factors that will come out of an incident like this. So this movie builds tension by forcing you to play devil's advocate against this very likable character that you know is in the right. They try to stack as many cards against Sully and your own morality to make this a very engaging movie. Tom Hanks delivers a great performance as always. It's nothing that we haven't seen from him before, but it just goes to show you how great he is at his job, which is fitting for this character. Aaron Eckhart was actually really great in this movie, and he complimented Tom Hanks really well. Their relationship is believable, he's a lot of fun to watch, and honestly, I wish he was given a little bit more to do because he was so good, but obviously this movie isn't about him. The biggest question that people are going to be asking about this movie is how they possibly could have taken such a small event and fleshed it out into a feature-length film. Well, first off, this movie is pretty short at around a 95-minute runtime, but on top of that, there are still a lot of scenes that felt a bit drug out and solely inserted into the movie for packing on more meat. You would assume that they would save the climactic plane crash until the end of the movie, but instead they choose to use the plane crash multiple times in flashback sequences, and there are multiple reasons why this works and multiple reasons why this doesn't. The primary reason why I thought this was an odd choice is because this is the scene that this movie is banking on, so starting off with a variation of the plane crash makes the next few renditions feel significantly less impactful than seeing it for the first time. But then it also works because every time they flash back to the plane crash, they are easily the most captivating and intense moments in the movie. And with that said, this movie as a whole, but those scenes specifically, are masterfully directed. One detail that I immediately noticed about this movie that made the experience so much more engrossing was the incredible sound design and sound mixing. The ambient sounds of the plane and its environment, the sounds of metal colliding against water, they're just all really captivating and well done in this movie. I honestly would not be surprised if this film was nominated for many technical awards. They keep showing the plane crash over and over through different perspectives to humanize the passengers on board, rather than just having a whole bunch of nameless and faceless extras and bit characters. And in doing this, it makes the plane crash far more realistic and terrifying than expected. Now obviously I've never been in a plane crash, but I felt like this movie captured that atmosphere perfectly. I feel like everybody who's boarded a plane has had that fear of possibly crashing, and this movie brings that fear to life incredibly. Honestly, to the point where it made me feel grateful for every time that I've landed safely. The cast of supporting characters in this movie were all really great, with Sully's wife being a bit unbelievable to me. A lot of her lines and mannerisms just felt a bit forced, but she's such a small part in the movie that it really doesn't make a difference. Now, the interrogation and investigation scenes in this movie were all really interesting to me because you see the lengths that these companies are willing to go to protect their money and reputation, rather than just being grateful that these lives were not lost. And what this movie actually becomes is this contrast between corporate America and the America we envision ourselves to be, the America that works together. In these flashbacks during and after the plane crash, we witness different perspectives and we witness everybody working together to make sure that everybody survived. The passengers, pilots, flight attendants, Red Cross, police, Coast Guards, they came together in what felt like the most quintessential version of a united America. The end of this movie does make you feel proud to be an American and makes you feel hopeful. This is exactly the type of message that America needs right now. Now, although as a whole this movie was very well done, it was blatantly obvious that they were trying to stretch this as far as possible. This movie relies heavily on daydream and nightmare sequences to hopefully make Sully's character more interesting and to make the movie feel more dramatic than it actually is. And I just felt like in this instance, there could have been many other ways to flesh out Sully's character. The scenes involving his wife are subjugate to short phone call conversations that don't accomplish anything. There's no effort to show Sully's relationship with his family that would actually affect the plot of the film. Obviously, this is probably because not much happened in real life, so they can't just be making stuff up for the sake of proper storytelling, but honestly, it wouldn't have hurt. There's a lot of miscellaneous information about Sully that's mentioned in this movie that could have been utilized to create some type of internal struggle, but it's just never given to us. The fact that Sully had his own company that investigated and studied plane crashes could have been used in more creative ways than just mentioning it in passing. Because most people are going to know the end of this movie before they go in, they'd really need to expand upon the nitty-gritty details that we wouldn't know about otherwise. It needs to be known that this movie aims more at being a biopic than a drama, but it does excel in providing both of these genres due to the excellent directing and strong performances. This is not the most gripping and unforgettable film of this year, but it is still a damn good movie. And for all these reasons, I'm gonna give Sully an 8 out of 10. Sully, have you seen it? Let me know what you thought about it in the comment section below. And while you're at it, let me know what your favorite movie about aviation is. And as always guys, thank you so much for watching this video. It truly does mean a lot. If you like this video, don't forget to hit like. And if you want to stick around and watch some more movie reviews, hey, hit subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one.